Welcome to tonight's live stream. Hope you enjoy the music. We're going to open up with a tune I like to call The Rush. Let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from, where you're listening from. And I hope you dig the music. Cheers. Here we go. Alright. Good fun. Let me get my chat going here. In fact, I'm not sure this is working. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm not seeing the chat. Okay, good. I see some comments coming in. Great. Well, great to be with you for another live stream. This is live number 114, I guess. Let me know in the comments if it sounds okay and looks okay. Okay, good. Great. Here's a song called The Prize. 1, 2, 3, 4. I had a one-word conversation with me, myself, and I about the way we've been living. Can't imagine why. To get to where we're going, it's a clouded compromise. You're mistaken if you think I'm taking my eyes off the prize. Maybe I've been distracted, quite possibly you're right. This big old bright and shining world has kept me up at night. We all know that price tag shouldn't come as no surprise. You're mistaken if you think I'm taking my eyes off the prize. Some days I live with no regrets. Some days I just as soon forget. Some days a diamond, some a stone. Some things I just as soon leave alone. Where does all this leave me? I can't really say I know. I got more questions than answers, quite a ways to go. Can't let that deter me. This I realize, you're mistaken if you think I'm taking my eyes off the prize. Some days I live with no regrets. Some days I just as soon forget. Some days a diamond, some a stone. Some things I just as soon leave alone. I had a one-way conversation with me, myself, and I about the way we've been living. Can't imagine why. To get to where we're going, it's a clouded compromise. You're mistaken if you think I'm taking my eyes off the prize. My eyes off the prize. My eyes off the prize. Bam. There we go. Good fun. Okay, well, I'll play another instrumental tune, and then I'm gonna kind of keep rolling through some songs. I have a concert tomorrow here in Montana, kind of like a hometown concert. It's a sold out show, and so this is me basically doing like a live practice session, because it's been a while since I've played a concert. I have a like a live concert on a stage. I have a 4-month-old baby boy right now, and just been at home building a studio, playing and practicing, hanging out. See a few good requests there. One for The Ghost of Al Capone. I can play that song, absolutely. And Fine Line, requested by Sonoma. Thanks for the nice request, you guys. It's always flattering when an artist gets a request to play their original songs. Alright, here we go. This is an instrumental tune. I gotta decide which one I'm gonna play. I think I'm gonna play Fireflies. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. There we go. Thanks for the nice comments, everybody. Nice to see where everyone's listening from. For anyone who's just joining, we have a virtual tip jar for these live streams. In fact, it quite accurately functions as a tip jar. You just go to joerobinson.com/tip jar, and if you'd like to leave a tip, kind of like as a ticket for the show, then thank you in advance to anyone who chooses to do that. This next song is called Endlessly, and it's a newish original piece of mine. I hope you enjoy it. Endlessly, the days go by. They wait for me under each night sky. Still I show up, just like you see, as to how and why. I am endlessly amazed at all that I can be when you love me, when you love me endlessly, endlessly. There's work to do, it weighs on me, but it's all for you. I'm rising up, the world can see as to how and why. I am endlessly, endlessly amazed at all that I can be when you love me, when you love me endlessly. They flow, our families, they shrink and grow, and as I search on, there's more of me as to how and why. I am endlessly, endlessly amazed all that I can be when you love me, when you love me endlessly. There we go. That's Endlessly, everybody. Thanks very much for the nice comments. I see quite a few requests for my wife. Well, my wife's name's Genevieve, and I wrote a song for her. And yeah, there's been a few requests for it, and I've seen them. So this is for you all. Thank you for the requests. words fell from your lips, the feeling of your soft fingertips on my skin. I've never been the same. All that I need to learn, that I need to see is in your eyes. All that I plead and yearn for this world to give me, realize. In this love I believe, Genevieve. Je t'aime, tu es ma joie de vivre. From all that I run, you are my reprieve. And right from the start, this restless heart you tamed. All that I need to learn, that I need to see is in your eyes. All that I plead and yearn for this world to give me, realize. In this love I believe, Genevieve. And every day I know it more and more. You're the one I've been searching for. And I don't even know who I was before you. All that I need to learn, that I need to see is in your eyes. All that I plead and yearn, but this world to give me, realize. In this love I believe, more than I can conceive. Morning, noon, and eve. Genevieve. There we go. All right. Well, how's everyone doing out there? You having a good week? It's Friday evening here in Montana. And yeah, it's been kind of unseasonably warm for the middle of February. I woke up this morning and there's a little bit of snow outside, a dusting. And today I kind of walked into the living room and looked out into our paddock, and there were 51 antelope, pronghorn antelope hanging out there in the yard. It was pretty cool to see. That's a very Montana experience, seeing the antelope. I had a really nice time over the holidays. My family came and visited from Australia, and they experienced some winter weather for the first time. And they enjoyed it. Just kind of paying attention to these comments here. Someone's requesting more sound effects. That's an unusual request, because usually people are telling me turn the reverb down or something like that. So I'll put a little reverb on for you. Okay. I'm going to play a arrangement I created for What a Wonderful World. I hope you enjoy this. Just a disclaimer, I did not write that song. Chester says, Joe, have you ever screwed up a live song so bad that you had to start it over? Yeah, probably. I mean, sometimes if I start with like the complete wrong lyric or something, I'll tell people, hey, give me another chance at that if you don't mind. But generally speaking, I'll throw a few mistakes in there just to see if y'all are paying attention. I always have fun playing music. I try not to take it too seriously. It's always a good time. Any day spent with a guitar in my hand, at least part of the day, is a good day in my mind. Here's a song called Fine Line that was requested several times earlier on. So here we go. Thanks for the request. Here we go, Fine Line. It's a fine line that we walk every day. There's a right and a wrong in everything we do and say. It's a fine line, runs through the heart of every woman, man and child, and everyone's got to do their part. It's a fine, fine line. It's a fine, fine line between the good and the bad, the truth and a fad. It's a fine, fine line. It's a fine line that we dance in our dreams, all alone in the dark where we plan our secret schemes. It's a fine line, those rules by we play. We slide 'em, we move 'em and lose 'em with our shades of gray. It's a fine, fine line. It's a fine, fine line between a win and a loss, the worth and the cost. It's a fine, fine line. When you do, when you don't, it's a fine line. When you will, when you won't, it's a fine line between pleasure and pain. It's a fine line. What you lose, what you gain. It's a fine, fine line. It's a fine, fine line. It's a fine, fine line between the good and the bad, truth and a fad, a win and a loss, the worth and the cost, the rise and a fall. Do you risk it all? It's a fine, fine line. Do a little improv, how about that? a note to see if you're paying attention. All right. Good fun. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of requests here, and I'm liking these requests. So keep them coming. Thank you. This is the Ghost of Al Capone, and yeah, I do need to practice this one because it has a lot of words, and this is one of those tunes that if I miss a verse, I have a problem. It's hard to find where to jump back in. Let me know if the sonics are okay out there. It's kind of tricky sometimes to balance the guitar and the voice with one mic, and I kind of have a bit of a clumsy positioning right now, but it sounds okay in my headphones. Yeah, this is a song I wrote about the gangster Al Capone, of course. I'm not sure how many of you know this, but Al Capone was a banjo player. And he learned to play the banjo, well, at least he played the banjo, when he was in Alcatraz, which is the famous jail, of course. That movie, Escape from Alcatraz. Gotta love that movie. And, yeah, he joined a band in Alcatraz, and they called themselves the Rock Islanders. There you go. Kind of interesting fellow. Not to mention, kind of bad man, but anyway. Here we go. There's a castle out in Franklin, off Old Hillsborough Road, called by Al Capone, his Tennessee abode. It's on the way to Leaper's Fork, 20 miles south of Nashville. Rumors are there's gold buried in those hills. I moved in just down the street in the winter of 15. A restless spirit lingered in my January dreams. I can't explain, but I could sense the ghost of Al Capone breathing on the cold glass of my snow-covered home. I thought it was paranoia till I saw him eye to eye, and in lucid conversation he spoke of days gone by, of roulette wheels, Tommy guns, lawmen on his back, cigar-smoking snooker, his bulletproof Cadillac. Said he built that castle as a halfway point from Illinois to New Orleans, a clandestine gambling joint. And after my encounter, I felt like I knew the man, but his twisted motivations I just couldn't understand. The notorious bootlegger smuggled Templeton rye from the rum runners of the East Coast when America was dry. To some he was a hero, a modern day Robin Hood. To some a killer and a thief, devoid of any good. They finally caught up with him in 1931, locked him up for tax evasion, and his gambling days were done. They sent him way out west to the island in the bay, surrounded by man-eating sharks. His cell was cold and gray, but in vivid technicolor he heard a melody, and on a pre-war Gibson he was once again set free. I hear banjos on the magnolia breeze. There's a black crow perched in the wicked winter freeze outside my window, right off of the Natchez Trace, from Alabama to Alcatraz. They call him Scarface. The warden has me licked. He wrote in rationed ink. Some nuts stabbed him with scissors, and Capone did barely blink. He clubbed him with his banjo in a fit of gangster rage. Just another morning in the California cage. And after some good behavior, they let him strum again. And a ragged band of inmates turned to soulful music men. They called themselves the Rock Islanders, and word spread throughout the land, till every prisoner was jealous and wanted to join a band. I hear banjos on the magnolia breeze. There's a black crow perched in the wicked winter breeze outside my window, right off of the Natchez Trace, from Alabama to Alcatraz. They call him Strawface. Now where else but in a legend does such a soul belong? Who after a storied life of crime died a man of song. To this day out on the water, at the setting of the sun, you can hear a ghostly banjo in cell 181. There's some information about Al Capone. Apparently, it is true that someone stabbed him with scissors in the prison. So, there you go. I see some cool comments. Someone said, Carol says, don't forget to hit the like button. Yeah. So, if you want to help out the stream, there's a few ways you can do that. Not just the stream, but me. The first way is to hit like on the video. You can hit like on YouTube. You can hit like on Facebook. That just helps send the video to more people, let them know that there's people out there that like it. And you can also share the video if you're on Facebook, especially that share button. You can kind of tell your friends about the music. I also have a tip jar, as I mentioned earlier, and the tip jar link should be floating around down there somewhere. TIPJAR. If you go to my website, there's a link up top, joerobinson.com, and there's a tip jar link. So yeah, thanks to anyone who does any of those things. The other thing is I have a list, basically a live stream announcement list. And if you'd like to receive a short email every time I announce a live stream, and I'm doing kind of like 2 or 3 a month at the moment. The time is kind of shifting around depending on my son's schedule because, it's pretty full on having a 4-month-old in the house. So if you want to get a short email notification, there's a link floating around there somewhere for live stream reminders, and basically I send you an email and just say I'm streaming at this time, here's the link, cheers. And simple as that, because you can't really rely on Facebook or YouTube to notify you properly. All right. Someone says I have a tip jar, but all I get is advice. Yeah, you can't pay your bills with advice, can you? So, lots of comments coming in. I do have my electric guitar here, so I might strap that on and see what trouble I can get myself into. Yeah, I saw someone said, how does Joe only have 150,000 subscribers on YouTube? He should have 1.5 million. It's a funny story. I did a call on Zoom the other day with a bunch of guitar players, with my friend Justin Guitar, who's one of the, he has one of the biggest guitar YouTube channels. And I was saying, yeah, I joined YouTube in 2006. And he was like, yeah, I joined in 2005 when it first started. And the truth is, I posted a couple videos of me playing in my bedroom. I was about 17 years old at that time. And I just kind of didn't really keep posting. I didn't post for probably like 6 years or something at one point. I was just too busy playing concerts. For those of you who don't know my story, I grew up in the bush in Australia. And it was a pretty rustic kind of upbringing. Like, I don't meet a lot of people who grew up like that, but like we didn't get hot water in the house until I was like 10. So it was cold showers. kind of boil a pot on the stove and pour it into this kind of bucket, and the bucket had a shower nozzle, and you'd go outside and you'd shower away on the grass. Yeah, it was like basically grew up in a farmhouse, and we were just climbing trees all the time. We didn't really watch TV. It was pretty boring in a lot of ways because, it's just, I didn't have like friends' houses I could go to. It was like we were in the middle of the bush, but we just build cubby houses and hang out and go jump in the creek and all that. And when I found the guitar, I became really obsessed with it because I liked the fact I could carry my guitar anywhere. I played piano for a little bit before that, but I just didn't like kind of being locked to where the piano was in the house where everyone could hear me. So yeah, I started playing the guitar, and I met Tommy and Phil Emmanuel when I was 11 years old, and that really changed my life and showed me what was possible on the instrument. And from there, I became quite determined to become as good at the guitar as I could, and I started getting a few paid gigs. And once I got a taste for getting paid for playing the guitar, I was like, oh man, this is me. You can keep the bush. I'm going out, and I'm going to be a world famous guitar player. And so I just set my sights on that really young. I was like 12 or so, I guess. And I joined YouTube, and I joined Facebook, and I joined MySpace at the time, and all those sites. And I'd post some videos, but really, I cut my teeth touring. I applied for a visa for the US when I was like 17, and I gave him a spreadsheet of 1,000 concerts I had played. I listed them all and the dates, and when I was going for my green card, I listed 2,000 concerts. So basically, that's what I did during my formative years. Is I traveled around and I played guitar all over the place, all over Europe, through some Asian countries, and of course all over the US and Canada and Australia and New Zealand. And yeah, I had no regrets, of course, but I do wish I had posted more to YouTube, because what an incredible way to connect with music fans. I've certainly kind of learnt a lot during the kind of pandemic experience when, like, I had my whole tour cancelled, and I just thought, oh well, I guess I'm playing on live streams these days. So I started doing regular live streams, and this is number 114. So I've been doing them for a while. And I really like the efficiency of not traveling. I like being home. I like being with my wife and my son. And we have chickens and ducks and all kinds of projects here on the homestead. And I like to practice. So there we go. Nez says, how many hours do you practice nowadays, Joe? Well, to be honest, I've been building a studio, and that has been taking a lot of my spare time. But I would say a really good practice session is like 3 hours or so. But I haven't done a 3-hour session in a good while. The way I usually like to practice is kind of just working up to it. And I'm going to stop talking in a minute and play a song on this Telecaster I've strapped on. But yeah, if you kind of like trying to get into a good practice routine, maybe start with 30 minutes 3 times a week. Do that for a couple of weeks, then bump it up to 45 minutes for a week, and then bump it up to 60 minutes. And before you know it, you'll be craving more. That's the way it works. I have a spreadsheet with my practicing in it, and I post my practicing to my community. I have a teaching website, invisibletechnique.com, and my community is closed until August. But I post for the people there. Anyway. Never stop being a straight boss with music. When you come back to the down home in Tennessee, I don't have a tour in East Tennessee planned, but that would be fun to come back to the down home. That place has a lot of character. Got a good question here from Andre. Is there a difference between practice and playing? To me, there definitely is. I'm a big fan of Andre Anders Ericsson, who wrote a book called Peak, P-E-A-K, and he was the psychologist who did the 10,000 hour kind of study that Malcolm Gladwell popularized, and his feeling is that practice is deliberate. Deliberate practice is really key to excelling at your instrument. So for me, playing is a very different thing than really deliberately practicing. And I think it's good to do both. It's good to be creative and have fun and just play whatever you want. But I feel like there's the majority of people out there can do that and kind of just feel like they're going nowhere, and that can get frustrating. And so having some deliberate practice, doing some deliberate practice can really go a long way. So anyway, yeah, that book Peak is great. I can highly recommend it. Okay, so what should I play on this guitar? See a few requested for Misty, so here's Misty. Well, here's a song that I haven't played in a while. I quite enjoy this piece. It's called Ancestor, and I haven't recorded it yet. I kind of rearranged it a little bit, maybe 6 months ago or so. This is the current version. Hope you like it. Someone said, dude, your Eric Clapton cocaine cover beat got me addicted to cocaine. I shouldn't laugh, but I can only see these comments when they're kind of coming down. I can't scroll down with this, weird chat dialogue thing I got. But I hope you got addicted to listening to the song Cocaine. That would be my hope. Anyway. Called Ancestor. On these strings I fly high as a bird, and with these hands I play music I've never heard. My guitar cries a sweet melody, something deep, something ancient is flowing through me. Ancestor, I feel your rhythm in my veins. Ancestor, we share more than just a name. Ancestor, the spirit of your song remains deep in my bones, red down in the dirt, deep in my bones, red in my blood, gray in your stone. Ancestor, and in my mirror I can see you. My gran told me you were a wild Scottish Viking with eyes of Nordic blue. They put you in chains just for stealing bread in the belly of a convict ship, with maggots in your gruel and rats in your bed. Ancestor, I feel your hunger in my veins. Ancestor, we share more than just a name. Ancestor, the spirit of your life remains deep in those crashing waves, deep in my bones, red in my blood, gray in your stone. Ancestor, ancestor, the spirit of your life remains down in the dirt, deep in my bones, red in my blood, gray in your stone. Ancestor, something like that. Apologies for the slight lyric mishaps. Yeah, I kind of enjoyed like doing the Ancestry.com thing and going back in the family tree and seeing like the convict records, because you know that Australia was settled by basically a bunch of prisoners from England, which I descended from, and yeah, a lot of them just got sent to Australia for doing minor, like stealing some bread or something. So, yeah, that song's about those ancestors. There's all kinds of colourful characters. Depends on how far you're willing to look back. Okay, well, I got time for one more song. And I just wanted to say thank you very much for tuning in to yet another live stream. I hope to be back with another one soon. I really enjoy doing these, and I appreciate the support of anyone who decides to leave a tip, or the support of anyone who just watches, because when you watch, that means a lot, and I appreciate that. So let me grab my acoustic here and finish off with something on that. David McLennan says, thanks, Joe. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, David. I'm playing a concert in Livingston, Montana. And yeah, it's going to be fun. Sold out show. I don't have many tour dates this year. I'm doing a small California tour in the fall. So if you're in San Francisco or San Francisco or Santa Barbara, or Bakersfield, I'm going to be playing out there. Probably a few other towns as well. Let me just browse through my list of tunes here and see if I can find one. Here's a song that I haven't played in a long time. This song has more words than any of the others I've played. And it kind of tells a story about where I grew up and where I come from. It's called Temadog. Hopefully I don't mess up any of the lyrics. It's like walking a tightrope, this song. Temadog is between the cracks of red dirt earth and the glistening Pacific. Wedged at the foothills of the Armadale tablelands, not every man has a table, hands, plans, or demands. A peaceful place, yet one of hardships. 91 I was born, raised on the Willy Willy Road, a 1.5 lane track at the time, dirt of course. We ate our eggs with yolks, collected our rain with taints. Coca-Cola shoes and new clothes were luxuries of I knew nothing, and what a way to be. I wouldn't trade it for the world, you see. Everything you are seeing, every part of my being is the result of my upbringing. And every song that I'm singing comes from the reeling, the feeling, the healing of those flat acres, those limestone, apple gum, bunya pine lands, that recipe for a naked flame, newspaper kindling, and fallen wood collected by the two strong hands of my father. 10 years old and I sold my soul. I knew Mum wanted me to play the ivory, but the devil had something else in store for me. It was all I thought about, playing the etudes of Clapton, Cooter, and a healthy blend of the hillbilly hybrid, back porch revival, Australiana, rhythm and booze that seeped out of the jam room every time my parents had a rehearsal or jam session. It made quite the impression on a young Joseph. I turned 16 and started smoking. Not cigarettes, of course, but that six-string cigar box. Par for the divorce of my Catholic high school, it was a sweet farewell. The devil at the crossroads ringing his bell, and I became a star of the screen in my small way. The era of reality TV had yet to fade, and the facade, the parade, and the ricochets became all too familiar to me. Girls, pearls, a plastic novelty check, trips to Europe, the Americas, the ghost of Robert Johnson shining down on me. I turned 18 and moved to Tennessee. I didn't know much of Johnny Cash and Company, but I soon became immersed in the craft of writing songs, playing tunes in the American drive, the striving and the thriving to which I was drawn like a heifer to the lick. Trios with the drums and bass, my preferred ensemble. The rumble and the thwack I'd always loved, but the fact was, as a soloist, was with what I had connected the dots. A learner, not a stoner, a dreamer, not a screamer, a believer that life is short and art is long. And it was 2016 I discovered some truths. I was hungry once, and through a lens of Zen I once again became 10. That same kid, 1 meter tall, carrying my sit string on the bus to school. It was all to me, and so once again became. So I'm back for more, the 4 a.m., 14-hour day, 100-hour week, a constant striving for a thoughtful meaning between these frets. And I won't rest but to take a breath. I don't know what is next, but I know what is left. The limitless oceanic set of possibilities open to every one of you and me. And though a lowly serf from the Temadog plains, here I am, and shall remain. go, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Take good care. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoy the music. I'll see you all again really soon.